Today's lesson is the second best lesson of all time. It's Chapter 3, Lesson 7, Dividing by Decimals. And today our Show Me is going to be presented by myself, like usual, and also some students from one of my math groups. So, the reason it's important to know how to divide by decimals is especially with money, and you also will have it in weight and other things like that. It's important to know how to divide by decimals. So I'm going to show you an example right away that is one where you need to know how to divide by decimals. My good friend Logan here has just been paid $15
by being a ninja warrior.
The problem is Logan's friends want to mooch off of him.
And Logan is willing to give each friend 50 cents.
So how many friends can he give 50 cents?
So what is the math problem?
So because he had $15 and he's going to split it into groups of 50 cents to figure out how many friends he gets to give 50 cents, we're going to make that into a math problem. $15 divided by 50 cents. Now, how can we represent 50 cents as a decimal? Well, we could represent it by 0.50, but since that zero's at the end, guys, does that zero matter at all?
No.
So we're going to erase that zero and just make it 0.5. So our math problem is going to be $15 divided by 0.5, or 5/10. So let's set that up.
The first thing you have to do is move the decimal right here, and since you do it to that number, you have to do it to this number. So, and then you move it right here, but you have to add a zero.
The next thing you want to do is you got to see what 5 goes into, and 5 doesn't go into 1, so it goes into 15, and that's 3 times. You put up the 3, you get 15, you minus that, and then 0.
And then you drop down the 0, which would make the 0 down here, and then you have to bring the 0 back up here. And then you have the decimal, which then you would put the decimal, and then carry it straight up here, and then put the decimal right here.
So that means he can pay 30 friends.
What a generous guy. Okay, here's the next problem that we're going to do together, so follow along with us. The problem is,
The zombie ate 24.5 pounds of brains.
And each human brain weighs about 3.5 pounds.
So how many human brains did he eat?
so our math problem becomes 24.5 brains, or 24.5 pounds of brains divided by 3.5 pounds each. So, sorry, Mr. Zombie, you gotta go. So, that's your problem. I want you to pause and solve. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is move this decimal 1 over, so it's a whole number. So if we move this decimal over 1 place, we need to move this decimal over 1 place. So then, our problem becomes 245 divided by 35. Now, 35 does not go into 245. So, we need to figure out how many times, 35 doesn't go into 24, so we have to figure out how many times it goes into 245. So, I'm going to estimate and guess about 7. Let's see if that works. 5 times 7 is 35. 7 times 3 is 21. Is 28. Oh, that doesn't work, so we're too high. Let's try 5. Oops. Teacher brain fart. That 7 works, because we do 5 times 7 is 35. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24, which is 245. I accidentally did 7 times 3 is 28. Oops. So, the answer is, it goes in exactly 7 times. So, the zombie was able to eat 7 human brains.
Yummy, yummy brains.
So the important things to remember from dividing by decimals is that you first move the decimal so you're not dividing by a decimal. And next, move the other decimal however many moved it. And then solve. So let's try one more really quickly. If we did 2.5 divided by 0.5. So first thing we do is move the decimal, number 1. So we move the decimal. We moved it 1 over here, so we have to move it 1 over here. So our problem just becomes an easy one. 25 divided by 5, so our answer is 5. So the next problem that you need to solve for your homework is a problem that was provided by Arwen, and it has to do with Lena's. So if Lena's has 9.5 pounds of cheese, and each taco needs 0.25 pounds of cheese, how many tacos can they make? That's your problem for tomorrow.